Hey guys, it is Tiffany here again today. Happy Tuesday. If this is our first time connecting and this is your first time watching a live video, I am Tiffany. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a toxic relationship recovery coach. What I do, what I specialize in, is helping women who suffer from low self-esteem after a toxic relationship regain their happiness and their confidence quickly. Because it's possible for you, whoever you are, whatever's happened to you, whatever has went on in the toxic relationship, happiness and confidence for you again is totally possible. So if that work interests you at all, please just, if you want to chat with me, I do free calls. You can book a call. You can go to my cover photo and click the link and find the best time for you. Sorry, my throat was stuffy, scratchy. So if you're popping on live, let me know you're here. Say hey. And if you're watching the replay, just let me know you've been here. I like to know who's watching. I like to communicate with you in the comments if I can. So today, this evening, this afternoon, I want to chat with you guys about how to stop the negative self-talk after a toxic relationship. So being in a toxic relationship, you can struggle with low self-esteem. You can struggle with low self-confidence and really just kind of beating yourself up and putting yourself down a lot because you were put down a lot by that toxic person. So kind of it's like taking on, and this could happen in childhood, this could happen in a love relationship, this could happen during any part of your life, I'm taking these off, any part of your life. So, and it probably happens because that person told you something negative, told you were stupid, told you that you weren't good enough, brought you down and pulled you down and belittled you to make you feel a certain way. So now you've taken on these behaviors, these patterns, this way of talking to yourself. So today, I want to help you kind of start to recognize. I think a lot of times we're going about life and we're raising our kids, we're working a job, we're maybe trying to grow a business. We're in the depths of business in life, and we don't even recognize or start to become aware of like how we're treating ourselves and what we're doing to ourselves. So I think a big part of changing, of you regaining your happiness and your confidence quickly, is noticing how you talk to yourself in your head, or how you talk to yourself out loud, and the things you believe and the things you say about yourself, and reprogramming those so they can fit with how you want to feel and how you want to act and how you want to feel and believe about yourself. So today, I want to give you about 6 tips on how to shut that negative self-talk down and replace it and start to really grow and release the things that don't serve you, the beliefs that don't serve you, and really start to regain your happiness and your confidence quickly. So I'm just going to dive into it. I think I say that every time. But the first one, so catch the inner critic. Catch the mean girl when she's happening. So I like to call her the mean girl. She's the one that's like when you're about to do something new, or when you're about to leave the relationship, or when you're about to do something that you care about, or do something, maybe even anything at all. She's the one in the back of your head saying, you're stupid. Like, you're not good enough. You could never do that. Those people are way better than you. You're not capable. She's that part of you that you probably know too well that brings you down anytime you feel like you've gotten up. And so a good way to release her and get rid of her and start to reprogram that mean inner critic is to start to catch her. So this was a big one for me. I remember starting, because I've been doing the work for about 3 years now. I've been out of my toxic relationship for 3 years now. I have been literally immersing myself in the inner work, in the personal development, and growing myself and healing myself. And so I remember learning about the self-talk and learning about how it works and the inner critic, the mean girl. And I would try to catch myself. And it was so crazy. They say we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So I would sit and I would go about my day and I would be doing things and something would pop up. Oh, those people are way better than you. You can't be yourself around them. Or I would try to grow a business, because at that time I was growing a business and I was getting certifications. And I would have these thoughts pop up like, oh, you're stupid. Like, you could never make enough money. And I would just get these thoughts that would come up that I didn't want to believe. But somehow they were stuck in there from negative experiences in my life. And so I learned how to catch that. So in the midst of all of that, when these things would come up, I would start to catch them. Because usually they happen subconscious. You aren't even aware of them. You're going about your day and they're coming in and you believe them and you already think they're true. So you don't even think about how to become aware of them. So becoming aware of them, you realize that's not how I want to think. And you stop them in their tracks and you catch them as they happen instead of letting them flow and letting them become even deeper beliefs. Another thing, hey Marissa, another thing you guys can do is to remember that thoughts and feelings are not reality. Just because you think something, just because you feel something, just because you have this deep-seated belief about yourself and about the world or anything for that matter, just because you feel or think this doesn't mean it's true. So the way that I've learned, beliefs are created is literally a thought. We thought over and over and over and over and continue to find experiences that prove that throughout our life. And I'm like trying to say it and read your comment at the same time, so I'll read it in a second. And so we have this thought over and over and over and over again. And maybe for months, maybe for weeks, maybe for years. And then they become a deep-seated belief that we do not feel like is anything other than the truth. And so then it's that deep wired in programming that I talk about all the time, to where it's hard to believe in yourself. It's hard to feel confident. It's hard to feel happy when you have this deep-seated belief that you're not good enough, or that you're stupid, or that you're dumb, or that you are immature, or that you're the narcissist, whatever it may be, whatever thought you've thought over and over and over again. And I'm here to tell you, I always say I'm like here to tell you so many things, but I'm here to tell you that's one of the biggest things that I want to put out into the world and out into your guys' lives, is to have you realize that if you don't like how you're feeling, if you don't like how you're thinking and the thoughts that you have and the beliefs you have about yourself right now, you do not have to have them any longer. No matter how long you've thought them, no matter how long you believe these beliefs about yourself, you do not have to have them. You literally can create whatever type of life you want, whatever type of person you want to become, you can create that. And it's a lot of the biggest part of doing that is releasing these limiting beliefs that aren't serving you any longer. These things that you've taken on as your truth when they were someone else's truth or someone else's projection. And so, yeah. So I can get so deep into this. I love this stuff. But remember that your thoughts and feelings are not the truth. And just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't have any truth unless you sit with yourself and you take it on as your truth and you decide that's nothing but the truth. You get to decide either way. If you don't like it, you don't want it, let it go. Let it run through your mind and don't sit on it. I'm going to read the comment for a second if I can. I can never hit see more. Okay. I totally started stalking you this morning. I adore you. All of your wisdom. You are speaking about my current life. Thank you for all of your words. You're so welcome, Marissa. I'm glad I could help. That's literally why I'm here. Like, I love talking about this. I love reprogramming the mind and helping people realize, because it was so mind-blowing to me that my entire life, my past life, was created by my thoughts, by how much I thought I was worth, by what had happened in my life and the relationships I had. And I was just creating them all based on my belief about myself. If you believe you're worthy, if you believe you don't deserve something, you will not put up with it. If you believe you're good enough, you will go for the things you want to go for. Nothing will stop you. You will figure it out. And that's one of my biggest things is like, whatever you want right now, get your mindset, get your belief, get your confidence, get your happiness, get your mind into alignment, into believing that's possible for you. And anything you want can be possible for you. The mind is amazing. And so just believe that. Just trust that. So you're so welcome, Marissa. The next thing, this is kind of like a weird one, but it could work. And it's giving your inner critic, giving that inner negative Nancy part of you a name. And sometimes this could be giving it, maybe you had a toxic parent, maybe you had a toxic relationship. This could be you like giving it their name, like saying, well, this isn't actually my belief about myself. This isn't actually how I feel about myself. This is just what so-and-so's portrayed or projected onto me. That's their beliefs. I'm not going to take their beliefs. Or you could give them a name like Negative Nancy, giving it something else besides you, so you don't personalize it, so you don't make that your identity. You realize that it's just a thought and it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't have to be you, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So giving it a name can definitely help. Another thing you guys can do is to think like a friend. How would your friend think about you? How does your friend think about you? How does your family think about you? They probably think very, very highly of you. They think you're very important. They love you. They adore you. You are one of the best people on earth to them. So how would your friend think of you? And start to think of yourself like your friend. Sometimes we have to do that, and it's kind of weird too. We have to treat ourselves like, we may look in the mirror and we may hate what we see, and we may wake up and not like how we feel, and not like our outer world or our inner world, and just be angry and upset and full of resentment and bitter. But sometimes we have to just treat ourselves like a friend, like treat ourselves lovingly, talk up to ourselves, tell ourselves we love ourselves, tell ourselves we're beautiful. Even in the midst of saying all that, we don't believe it. Eventually, we will. It may take some time. And I've talked about this before too, how so many times we try to do the affirmations and we try to put ourselves up there and try to love ourselves and try to treat ourselves good. And then it's really hard. And it feels funny. It feels stupid to tell ourselves we love ourselves, to look ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves we love ourselves when we really don't, or tell ourselves we're good enough or beautiful when we really don't believe it. But the thing is, guys, is that your brain is designed to believe anything you tell it. Anything you tell it. So if you've been telling yourself you're not good enough for a very long time, eventually your mind's going to believe it. And if you tell yourself you're beautiful, if you tell yourself you're adorable, if you tell yourself you love yourself, if you tell yourself you're good enough, eventually you're going to retrain your brain to realize it and to believe it. Because it's true. And it doesn't, in the end, when you finally get yourself to realizing your power and becoming aware of how worthy and how good enough you are, no one else's opinion of you matters. That's one of the biggest amazing parts of it. So do the inner work. Use the affirmations. Use the kind words that your friend would use for you to yourself, no matter how funny or how stupid it may feel. Another thing you guys can do is to say it out loud. So all of these things we have running through our brain, those 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day, we have running through our brain, and most of them are negative. I can't remember the percentage, but it was over 50% of them are negative, usually, with the normal person. So start to speak your beliefs and your thoughts out loud. Because when you can get clear and you can speak it and you can get it out of your head, you start to be like, whoa, I don't want to think that. I don't want to believe it. I don't actually believe that. That was just a thought that popped in my head, and I don't want to believe it, and I don't believe it. And so you start to get out of your box of overwhelm that is your head. So say it out loud if you need to. It's not stupid. It's not crazy to speak out loud. Sometimes I do it in the car and I'm like, this is how I feel. And it's kind of like talking to someone, but you're getting out of your head. And that's part of the reason I do my free calls, is to help you guys get out of your own head for a little bit and talk it out. So another thing you guys can do is to catch, which I kind of already talked about this, but is to catch the thought as it comes and replace it. So what I mean by this is to, as you're going about your day, maybe set a timer. Set a timer for 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. to where it goes off, and you sit, the minute it goes off, you sit there and you ask yourself, how is my day going? How am I feeling today? What have I been saying to myself today? What are the words I've been using? How do I feel about myself right in this very moment? And check in. And you may realize, wow, I've been super down on myself. I've been calling myself stupid, saying, oh my God, I can't believe you're so dumb. And you've been putting yourself down, and you've been very negative, and maybe you're stressed, maybe you're on edge, and you start to realize that by checking in. So when these negative thoughts come up, start to become aware. And it can be in the middle of, like, I always explain it, like I always say the story. So if you've been around for a while, you probably know it. But I remember it was an icy day and I was on my way to work and I had my coffee, I had my daughter, I had like my jacket and my jeans. I was dressed for work. We were ready to get in the car. I slip on the ice. My daughter is fine. Nothing happened to her. I spilled my coffee all over myself, all over my jacket. I ripped my jeans. I got my arm sleeve all freaking muddy and dirty. And I went inside and I changed my clothes and then I put my daughter in the car and I told myself, today freaking sucks. And at that time I was really doing the deep inner work. And I was like, oh my God, I caught it. And that's what I mean. It can happen so fast. I could have went the entire day having that day suck because that little episode happened. And on the flip side, I caught it right when it happened. I started to become aware of what I was doing to myself and I freaking stopped it. I was able to replace it. And I told myself, today is not going to suck. Today doesn't have to suck just because this happened. Just because I've been through some shit. It doesn't have to suck. And that's the same as your guys' lives. Like if you are coming out of a toxic relationship, if you're dealing with some really heavy shit right now, please know that your life does not have to suck because of it. Your life doesn't have to be a constant pattern of that because of those experiences you've had in your past. Your past is gone. Your past is gone forever. You don't have to relive it. You don't have to ever be put in those situations again. You don't have to believe beliefs you've thought about yourself for over 20 years. You don't have to believe that stuff anymore if you have the right tools to release it and to replace it and to get through it. So these are some things you can start to do, is to catch the thought, say it out loud, talk to yourself like a friend, treat yourself with some love, girl, and maybe even give that mean inner critic a name. Just kind of going through them if you're just popping on now. And then also remembering and reminding yourself that you are worthy regardless of what has happened to you in your life, regardless of what a parent or a lover or a friend has treated you, regardless of what they've done to you. You are worthy, regardless of how embarrassed you were or how stupid you feel or how angry you feel right now or how ugly you feel right now even. You are worthy regardless of all of that. You are good enough, you are worthy, and you've been good enough, you've had the confidence, you've been worthy, all of it, since day one when you were born. You were born with all of that. And just because some bullshit happened along the way doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. And why you feel like you're not good enough or not worthy is because all of these experiences, you've taken them on to believe and to feel that they mean you're not good enough or that you're not worthy. And it's a story you started telling yourself. Cut the story. Cut the BS. Because if you want to feel good enough and if you want to feel worthy, you can literally say it right now. I am good enough, I am worthy, and from now on, you can start to catch yourself in the midst of all of it when you're talking bad about yourself. You can start to work on yourself and start to do that inner work to really like reprogram and rewire your mind for happiness and confidence and relief and peace and everything. Everything you want in your life is waiting for you, and a lot of it starts with just doing the deep inner work. So, if you're still here, if this is you, if you are struggling with low self-esteem, if you are struggling with low self-confidence and you're ready to live again, you're ready to feel at peace, you're ready to be happy and confident and just free again, free from the emotion, free from the heaviness, free from the toxicity, free from the negative Nancy self-talk that you have. If you're ready to be free and ready for all of that, reach out to me. I will show you how it's possible. It is possible no matter who you are, no matter what you've been through. So if that interests you at all, if you want to know more, go to my cover photo, click the cover photo, click the link in the caption, and book a call and find the best time for you and the best day for you. And we will chat and we will get you out. It's totally free. We will get you out of your head. We will get you out of your box of overwhelm. And we will have you start believing in yourself and knowing that whatever you want, on the other side of all this chaos, on the other side of all of this negative self-talk and these negative emotions and these negative feelings, whatever you want is on the other side of that. And a lot of the work is just releasing this BS story. So, I hope this video helped you guys. I'm going to jump off here, but I love you guys. You are worthy.